What is the dealio, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back. So I have something special today for you guys. I think it's going to answer a lot of questions, because not only am I going to show you the ABX runs, who is better with the absolute best case scenario on both of these characters, because I think it's these two at the very top, Mephisto and Cable. And you're going to see the difference in score and what to actually expect from each of these at basically its peak level, because I have brilliance on both of them. I have max build on both of them, and also I'm going to discuss how you can set these characters up to get the best return on them. And what I mean by that is, like, I've been getting a lot of questions, and I've just been seeing a lot of talk, like Mephisto, is he better with Rage or Judgment, or Rage or Mighty Judgment? And same for Cable. And thing is, Cable has two different uniforms, so some things interchange and intertwine there. And I'm going to give you the order in which Cable performs his best, and the same with Mephisto, because it's a bit more involved than just, is it Mighty Judgment or Rage? Because on Judgments, they can vary widely, like depending on where what kind of type, like if it's a max type, like if you don't have max type, Rage might in fact be better. And I'm going to discuss exactly what you should expect, like the parameters, around which a Mighty Judgment will actually be better than Rage. And then I'm going to do the same for Cable with his two different uniforms and energy. It's kind of complicated, but once I break it down for you, it shouldn't be as tricky to understand. Also, guys, so from the very time that I'm recording this, we're about 16 hours out for the live stream. So from the time it actually uploads, we're looking at, I don't know, maybe 14, 13 hours. So it's coming near, and I really hope that Thanos is included. I really hope we see him. Or if not, how they winked and nodded at the what was coming for the mid-month, Scarlet Witch, the whole Agatha wink and all that stuff, all the different hints they gave us. If he's not in this live stream, hopefully, they give us some type of indication that we will actually see them or see him for the mid-month. Maybe him and some Black Swan. I think that'd be pretty cool. All right, let's dive into this now. All right, guys, so here's how we're going to do this. I'm going to play Mephisto's run first, but before I do that, I'm going to talk about basically in which order CTPs to expect the best return on them. All right, so it goes a little something like this. To score the absolute, the CTP that's going to get you the least score is going to be Judgment, a regular Judgment, and then the next two could be changed, and it's going to depend on the role on the Mighty Judgment. So you have Mighty Judgment and Rage. Now, in some cases, Rage is going to perform better. Like, if you don't have the max proc, so the 40% is the max proc. Yeah, I got bamboozled with the chain hit on this one. I'm probably going to have to roll this. 11% is so low. So, like, even this one here, I wouldn't expect this to score higher than a Rage because of the chain hit. The chain hit is so low. You need something with a really good roll to outpace Rage for ABX. This one, because it doesn't have the max type, these might be close. These might be close because the all attack and the chain hit is very high. It almost has max all attack and chain hit on it. If it had 40% on this, I'd say 100% this one would score better than a Rage. But the standards are pretty high to outpace the Rage on a Mighty Judgment. And then at the very top is going to be a Brilliant Judgment. And it doesn't necessarily need to have like the best roll on it. You probably want a higher proc on it, obviously. Like this one actually almost has the max roll. I got very lucky with that. All right, I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna play Mephisto's run, and then we're gonna do the same thing with Cable. Before I play his run, I'm gonna talk about because Cable's a little more. It's a little more convoluted with him because he has two uniforms, and depending on which uniform you're using, one CTP might actually work a little bit better, and we'll talk about that once we get there. All right, as a matter of fact, before I pull the run up, let me at least talk about the rotation if you're not aware of what his rotation is. Now, it can okay, if you have type on him, if you have the Mighty or a Brilliant Judgment and it has the type, there's certain things, certain tweaks that you kind of want to or adjustments that you want to make with your play style. Like certain times that you might hold the skill just for an extra second to charge the type or to almost charge it, because Mephisto, he actually charges it very quickly, and he moves on his 2 skill, which will charge it, and you can get like really good and proficient with it where you have it like almost charged and you have it go off at like the perfect time. Like you hit the 2, it finishes charging, so on the next skill that you hit, the type goes off. That might be given a little more detail than you actually want to know. So that's basically, I think, as far as I'll go on that. Maybe I'll try to point some things out during the run, but his general rotation is going to look like this. So you just hit 3 one time during the whole fight. You just hit it once, and then you go into 2, and you cancel 2 as soon as he disappears, and then you're actually going to cancel 5 right away. So here, I'll do that again. I'll do what his rotation actually looks like. So you hit just pretend I hit the 3, and then you're going to go 2. As soon as he disappears, 5, and then you actually cancel 5 right away. And then as soon as he does that circle spin, the end of 4, then you're going to go into 1. And then the next rotation is going to look like 2, he disappears, you go 5, cancel, into tier 3, 6, and then boom, right there, that's when you can go into 1. And, Mephisto, he's pretty easy to play. And I'll point out more of the nuance with his rotation during this run here. Alrighty, so before I play the run, I just want to mention that I actually only ran this a few times with Mephisto. I ran way more times with Cable just because I knew the ceiling was a bit higher with Cable. But I'd say there's probably 1 to 200,000 points left on the table if you really, really wanted to score, if I wanted to score the max amount of points that I could with them. And the best team to run with is going to be, let's see, Valkyrie and Ghost Panther. Ghost Panther lead with Valkyrie support. All right. Let's get into this. All right, pay attention to, so what I did, like if you're running with the type, you see how I hit 3, 2, and then when I hit the 5, the type actually went off. So that's what I meant. If you really wanted to get really good with timing that, you could certainly do stuff like that to increase your score a little bit. I mean, I tried to, but I'm not gonna really beat my head against the wall to get it to be like that every time throughout the whole run. But let's go ahead. Let's play this. You'll see exactly how I play them. And yeah, you're doing a bit of kiting, so you can see I'm running around. I'm waiting another second, right? I hit the 2, and then the type actually goes off during the right when I hit the tier 3. So it's actually kind of easy to do with them. It might, I don't know, seem like it's like advanced or something. It's really not that hard. But yeah, other times I didn't really try to get it to go like that because you're actually, it's not that important because you're actually canceling his skills like one after another. So it's going to land pretty much where you want it to. Yeah, just wait. So yeah, he's got the silence on his tier 3. So that kind of stinks. That's actually what's setting him back a little bit. I'll say that. So during like Paralyze or Burn, these scores are going to be a bit closer together between him and Cable. I'm not sure if he'll be able, maybe for Paralyze, because Cable he's kind of he's kind of stinky. He's kind of stinky for Paralyze. He's still very good. Obviously, he's definitely the best, but he's not easy to play during the Paralyze. And Mephisto is going to be a lot easier to actually play during those seasons. So things could they definitely could change during that season. You can see I tried to hold it. The type I feel like is definitely increasing the score. If you're only holding it for like maybe a second, you go ahead and do that. Otherwise, I wouldn't try to hold it. There's definitely times where I don't. Now I don't hit the 1 here because the type's going to go off during the 1, and I just feel like the damage. I'd be losing out damage if I had it go off there because I would be kiting the whole time during that proc that actually would be up. So those are things you just have to make a judgment call on to see where you're at. And yeah, here I have to wait, or I believe I saved the tier 3. Yep, I saved the tier 3 here because I wouldn't have it up. Wouldn't have it up for the roar. So you're definitely, like I said, you're losing out points. There's massive damage on his tier 3, and if you could squeak another, couple of those in during the run, because you're not waiting for that, you're not subject to canceling the roar with his tier 3. He's definitely, like I said, you know, there's points on the table there. So I'll be interested to see exactly where he winds up in comparison to Cable for other seasons. It's definitely going to be a bit closer. But yeah, I believe this was my highest score with Mephisto here, 11.17. And yeah, I hit the 3 at the very end because I don't think any other skills were actually off cooldown there. Yeah, this was actually the first run that I finished on this day here. So, and I think I tried running a couple more times, and this one ended up being the best one with Mephisto. So, like I said, there's definitely points on the table, points left on the table with this guy. All right, let's go ahead and let's talk about Mr. Cable here. All right, and like I said, with Cable, it gets a little more cloudy. It gets a little more confusing just because he has 2 different uniforms, right? So the very best case scenario for Cable is, you know, if it wasn't obvious enough, is going to be a brilliant energy, and it seems like it's going to be like that on both uniforms, on X of Swords and on Summer Days. But what comes next is going to be Rage on this uniform here. From what I understand, it's not too far behind Brilliant Energy on Summer Days. So yeah, you're going to look like Summer Days Brilliant Energy, and then Brilliant Energy X of Swords, and then Rage X of Swords. So if you don't have a Brilliant, you know, I have to imagine for most people, just getting a Rage is easier than getting a Mighty Energy, right? You need 2 energies to get a Mighty Energy. And then Mighty Energy on Summer Days is going to be behind Rage, and then Mighty Energy behind Summer Days on X of Swords, if that makes sense. So Brilliant Judgment on either uniform, then Rage on X of Swords, and then Mighty Energy on Summer Days here. So yeah, if you don't have a Brilliant, I would just put a Rage on him. A lot of top ABX scorers are actually using Rage on X of Swords, and they're doing just fine with it. They're doing just fine with it. Oh, let me show you their builds in comparison. So they actually have basically the same exact build. Thing is, Cable has a uniform, right? So that, you know, he's definitely got points up for that. And so he's got Power of Angry Hulk. Thing is this, Mephisto, I have Hawk's Eye on him, and this is something that I intend to change, probably to Overdrive, because let's see, I'm not capped off on crit damage, so I definitely need the crit damage. I can't go with Power of Angry Hulk, right? Because Power of Angry Hulk actually does not have crit damage. It just has the crit rate and attack speed. I have a lot of attack speed, so yeah, that wouldn't work for me. So yeah, I'm gonna have to roll this to Overdrive. It's like, so the difference between having Hawk's Eye and Overdrive would be like an Odin's Blessing. You'd get like an additional Odin's Blessing on your character, because, you know, you're swapping out, you know, an HP ISO for an attack ISO. So it basically add in one of these, which ones are the powerful, right? The silver ones. All right, now that we discussed that, let me pull up this Cable run, and you can see exactly how I'm playing him, because I think that actually, when he got his tier 3 in the new uniform, that's the last time that I made a video. And I've actually had a lot of people ask me, you know, how I score so high with Cable and just how I play him. I think a lot of that information may have come out, but I'll show you exactly what I'm doing here, and hopefully it helps you out here. Yo, what is happening, guys? Just Sneaky Bander in the building, your true host of the show here. Now, guys, if you remember correctly, we got straight bamboozled on this chest here. Straight bamboozled. We got like nothing good. And I've been seeing a lot of screenshots from people getting Odin's Blessings left and right. Fingers crossed, guys. Let's hope. Let's hope that we can, I don't know, we can pull one. We can pull one. I'm seeing people pulling back to back here. So I think we have, I'm actually not even sure how many we have here. I think all but one day. Yeah, we got a lot of energy. That's what I remember. That was the big reward for us. Energy. Not looking good, guys. Not looking good. 20 bam. Oh man. One day left. We shall revisit this tomorrow. And also, like I said, for the story, these chests here, I think we're close to 20. We have 16. We got 16. So I don't know, maybe 4 days max. 4 days max for this chest, and we're gonna pop 20 of these bad boys here. Hopefully we get one of these premium cards. They got premium cards in here, guys. I gotta get on. I just don't have the time to play this one here, because this one actually has CTPs, right? Yep, got CTPs there, and actually these tickets here wouldn't be so bad. Like a level 6 type enhancement. Yeah, not too shabby. All right, guys, enjoy your broadcast. All right, so just like Mephisto, I'll show you exactly what I'm doing here. Now, there's definitely some nuance to his rotation as well. So I see some people play him like this. They let him shoot up in the air, and then they go into, 4-2, 4-2, and then 5. I try to avoid that. The thing is, at certain times, depending on where your proc is, you might want to do that, because you don't ever want to, with Cable, you don't ever want to come out of the rotation. Like, you want to stay in that rotation the whole entire time. Also, you want the proc to start on 5. Like, when you hit, you want the proc, boom, to start after you hit the 5. You don't want it to start before. You could see a massive difference in your score. You could see, I don't know, 300,000-400,000 point difference, maybe even more, depending on how many of those procs are actually jacked up. So I do 3 as soon as he swipes, 4 when he comes back, and then 2 and 5. The other thing with this uniform is the tier 3 can be sticky. Tier 3 can be sticky. Now I think there's other ways to play him out there than what I'm going to show you. I'm not really proficient in those ways, quite yet. Once I am, maybe I'll make an updated video on that. But you'll see in the run exactly how I'm playing this guy, and I'll tell you the exact things that you actually want to look out for. Alrighty, here we go. Okay, so the run where I scored the highest, I actually did not record. This one is close though. This one is, so my high score is 11.71. I actually just reversed the other 2 numbers in Mephisto's score. His was 11.17. This one's 11.71. So the run that I actually recorded, I'm going to show you, is 11.63. So this is what we got. This is going to do a good job of demonstrating exactly what's going on here and how you want to play this guy. So yeah, I start with Nick Fury, splash, typical Cable rotation here, and you want to stay in this. You just want to stay in his rotation. You never want to come out of it. And what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to pay attention to where the proc is at, and you basically need to get a timer in your head of when you can actually go back into his rotation, into his skills. Because sometimes, like I said, you might have to. If the proc is early and you've kind of lost the proc, you might have to shoot the gun in the air. I think you might see it a couple times throughout the run here. And then the tier 3 can be a little tricky. That thing likes to stick. It's so bad. So yeah, here, there is I think that was like a perfect proc there. That worked out very, very nice. Yeah, you see, you could see me trying to hit the tier 3. It just doesn't want to go off sometimes. That's just the way it is. So yeah, you see there, I let it shoot for a second because I was kind of behind on the proc there. The proc went off right away. It actually did not go off after I hit the 5. It tends to do that if you have a lot of mobs around, like during the roars. During the roar time, it'll tend to do that. So yeah, here I think, do I shoot it up in there? I kind of delay a second. You can delay a little bit more in 3 and 4. And I think those are the things that's going to determine the strength of your run. How well you can actually just get with the timing, and to ensure that your proc starts on the 5. Sometimes there's nothing you can do about it. Sometimes that's just the way it is. But there's definitely things you could do to influence it. So here, yep, I got to shoot it for a second, hang in 4 for a little bit longer. But yeah, typically I tried running it with shooting the gun in the air like that, and I did not score as much. It was quite a bit less. This is how you want to do it. And yeah, I don't know if anybody has any tips out there on trying to get the tier 3 to not stick. It worked out well there. I think this run, it actually works out for the most part, but there's definitely some situations that that doesn't. Oh, and another thing, the roars. Your score is largely going to depend on whether if the beast goes into his roar late. If he doesn't go into his roars late, your score is going to be much less. So that's something to pay attention to as well. I mean, if you're trying to get your max score, if he doesn't go into the roar late, like on the first one, you could just restart the run. And like there, like the last roar you saw, he went into it pretty late, and that's what you want. That's exactly what you want. And the 2 and the 3 can help delay the roar. So you see there, so yeah, you see my high score is 11.71. This one's 11.763. And I think if I just got better procs during this run, it would have been closer to or matched the 11.71. So there you have it, guys. You saw it, and you saw it here first. Our man Cable is still the reigning champ. Yes, he is, but I'll say this, okay, because the best team is Nick Fury and White Fox. If you didn't have White Fox or White Fox with their newest uniform, those scores would definitely be closer together. Also, when the seasons change, right? Because we just entered Silence, and I didn't try this testing anytime before, and I think my account's a good account to actually do this testing on because I have basically the max that you can give both these characters. So when the seasons change, especially for Paralyzed, they're definitely going to be a bit closer. Even Burn too, right? Because you need to, there's some things like with Cable for the second roar, you have to use, right? You got to wait for Cyclops. Also, well, not so much for the second, but the third roar, you actually have to stop attacking like before 39 seconds hits. Like if you're attacking at 39 seconds, Cyclops comes out and you're just you're bamboozled there. Also, the team up is going to change a little bit too, so you don't get as many buffs. Also, guys, so I've been thinking about doing more fight nights to really narrow down and pinpoint the characters on my ranking guide to put them in their proper place, because I think some of the characters might not be in their proper place at this very moment. Also, I plan on playing Null. Maybe not today because I still have my world boss left, and it's very late in the day for me. And so I'm gonna have to, like, I don't know, I'm in a routine. I'm in like a world boss routine where I'm like in my comfort zone where I do certain levels here because I can't exceed up Mephisto anymore. At level 50, I tried running Rogue just a couple times, and it just doesn't seem like she could do it, not with what's available for her. Maybe if like Nick Fury gets a tier 3 awakening, or White Fox tier 3 in awakening. Now I know, Rogue doesn't have the leadership tag, but she could still take advantage of the her uniform passive, not her actual tier 2 passive, like where's White Fox. So on her, why am I going there? On her uniform, applies to all allies, right, or all hero allies. You get 15% increase to attacks, plus chain hit, and then plus the ignore dodge. So even if anybody could take advantage of that. Obviously, if Rogue had the what's it called, the leadership tag, but Luna Snow does. So if like Nick Fury and White Fox tier 3 awakening would put Luna Snow, I guarantee she'd probably be able to clear that, right, with all those buffs. Because they're bananas buffs. So yeah, I'm gonna be getting on this stuff just so I can get better information out there for you guys, and we're gonna be doing more fight nights. And the reason why I bring that up is because I want to know if there's any particular fight nights that you actually want to see. If you have 2 characters in question, I know I just did the Maker, right, the combat villain, Maker, Apocalypse, and who's the third one? Maker, Carnage. There he is. I was thinking about doing Maker and Moon Knight because I've had a lot of people, saying, is Maker better than Moon Knight? I think he might be, guys. He might be faster than Moon Knight now, and especially because he's got his own lead. And even if you had Thing, even if you didn't have Thing, I think that really wouldn't change that. But I'm curious to see because I honestly don't know. But if I had to guess right now, I'd say that he is. So if that's the case, I might have to swap the two, because on my list right now, Moon Knight is ahead of Mr. Reed Richards here. Okay, guys, I'm gonna end it there. I hope you learned something. I hope this answers some questions for you guys, and it helps you out in one way or another. I got more stuff though. I got something Scarlet Witch related coming up next. So you better stay tuned. You better stay breezy, but most of all, friend, you stay safe out there now. Peace.